the studio in Nitro, West Virginia. This is Unreasonable Doubt. It's a podcast about West Virginia University basketball. I'm Josh Witt, and the Mountaineers are still playing basketball in the 2025-2026 season. We're back. Few weeks off. Did have like a football bowl season vibe. This college basketball crown tournament in Las Vegas, waiting until April to get started and lead up to the Final Four weekend. It's interesting. And what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. That's what I've heard. We've watched this team play over 30 games that have counted. And this is not the first time I've felt this way watching the Mountaineers play this team this season. It reminds me of a veteran rock and roll band who are touring. They didn't put out a new album. And when you are touring and you don't have a new album, you've got your catalog. And if I am a paying customer, I want to see this band play live. I want them to play the hits. When I put my hard-earned money down for one concert ticket to see a veteran band that doesn't have a new album, and even if they did have a new album, yeah, I guess I want to hear the new stuff, mix it in. But when you don't have a new album, play the hits. And there have been games this season, and I felt this tonight, where West Virginia, if they were a veteran rock band, they were playing the hits. They were in a city known for entertainment, Las Vegas, at the MGM Grand, I believe, and they played. If I put money down to see West Virginia play music or basketball, I got my money's worth. That's what I was expecting. Was I expecting a win? I don't know, and it looked iffy, but West Virginia is still playing basketball, and they beat the Stanford Cardinal in overtime 82-77 to advance to the college basketball crown semifinals. So I think they get some kind of money by winning this game. How that works, it's complicated. From what I've heard and what I've read, it's complicated. Somebody somehow is getting money. But they also going to continue playing. And just like seeing a rock band in a concert, they have a set list. And West Virginia's set list tonight will get to the hits, but you don't have a concert unless you're like Billy Joel or the Eagles or the Rolling Stones. You can't just play all the hits. The catalog is, it's only 30-some games or 30-some songs. Well, the metaphor is getting lost here. But the set list, it doesn't have all hits. There are some deep cuts. And the deep cuts tonight was aggressive Chase and Eagle staff. Like a lot of that second half, the offense relied on Chase and Eagle staff to create and put the ball up. Like a lot of Chase and Eagle staff one-on-one. That's a deep cut for this band. A real deep cut was Morris Ugasuk not only playing, but scoring the ball. It's the first time he scored in a game since Arizona back in late January. So that's like a B-side cover from an early live album from the band. Another deep cut, West Virginia shooting a high percentage from the free throw line. They played that song. They haven't played it very often this season, but they played it tonight and in a close game to win the game. That helps the cause. So they played some deep cuts. There was a song that the band, again, they didn't put out an album, a new album, but they're tinkering. You know, now that they're together and playing a little bit, they're working on stuff in the tour bus. And the new song the band was working on was DJ Thomas faking a three at the top of the key and then driving down the middle and slam dunking the basketball. That's a new song. I like that song. It makes me want to hear more songs from DJ Thomas. I like that song. Another new song was Ross Hodge deciding to meet Okogie, who is really good at basketball, the freshman point guard from Stanford, meeting him with two guys at half court for a majority of the second half and overtime. In my narrator voice, did that limit Okogie? It did not. Okogie, even with that strategy, was lethal in the second half, scored almost half of Stanford's points for the night. But at times, especially in overtime, it was more effective. But it was not totally effective in that once that double team dissipated, then Okogie had a one-on-one matchup, and he did really well with that. And he's really good. And everybody knows he's really good at basketball. Stanford knew, West Virginia knew, Ross Hodge knew, Kyle Smith knew. And he played like a really good basketball player would play tonight. He scored, 34, I think. Really good at basketball. But West Virginia, who Ross Hodge, do you make adjustments defensively? He really tried to help the cause for West Virginia. One guy isn't enough for that guy. And Stanford, let's say they heavily relied on that guy doing what he did tonight. And they still lost. But it was effective even with two guys waiting for him as he approached the half-court line. Sometimes he just had to throw it off a guy's foot to reset the shot clock. Like, guys, what are we doing? There's two. Has everybody seen two guys on me? Let's try again. So that was a new song. That was interesting defensively. But then the majority of the set list tonight were songs that we've heard time and time again. This in the band's lifetime, which is the 2025-2026 season. Majority of the set list was the hits. In West Virginia, they played the hits tonight. A classic from the catalog was build a lead in one half and watch it disappear and turn into a deficit in another half. That's a classic. Seen that multiple times. The solid defense for one half and then can't get stops for long stretches in another half, / watching a team seem like they can't miss. I mean, speaking of hit, this is not a hit this is a controversial hit this season, and it's only, and I don't have a stat to back this up, just watching this team all season. When that guy late for Stanford banked the three in, does somebody keep track of how many times an opponent hits a long bank shot three against you? Does this happen to every team? It feels like for the 2025-2026 Mountaineers season, and a shocking number of banked ridiculous threes going in for the other team, the team that West Virginia is playing. Anyway, and both of those classics were played the same way. The build a lead, lose it, first half, second half. Solid defense in the first half, can't get stops in the second half. Efficient offense for one half, which was the first half. Very efficient, patient, getting the ball inside, lots of points in the paint. Second half, not settling, but took a lot of threes, taking a lot of possessions ending in either turnovers or very contested jump shots. That's an anthem. That's an anthem for this season. It is for periods of time, the offense looks efficient, and then sometimes it looks like a clogged drain. And they played that song tonight. You expect that song to be played. And they played that tonight, especially a good bit in the second half. And then the encore which makes sense because it was near the end of the game. The encore for this band is "Hey Honor Huff, Bail Us Out." Hey man, you do something. Not that we're gonna watch you, but we kind of will just watch you just make ridiculous shots or miss them, but just, hey man, take the ball, do some crazy stuff. Let's see what happens. And that shook the house. That's why they save it for the encore, because Honor Huff did in fact bail West Virginia out tonight. And they did play before they turned the lights out. They did the closer before the anthem was, "As soon as you count us out, we're not going to die." I mean, time and time again this season, West Virginia has been behind, had leads. It moves all over the place, but no lead feels safe and no deficit doesn't feel like they can't come back from it. They double-digit deficits, not a problem. West Virginia was down 8 at the TV timeout, no problem. And I mean, what a concert tonight. When they were down 8, I said in the Smoking Musket Discord, if you're not in the Smoking Musket Discord, definitely check that out. Look for the link in the show notes. Down 8, under 4 minutes. I was like, I put in the Discord, if they're playing the hits, they got to make this one interesting. I'm not expecting them to win because they've made games interesting and then fall short. But tonight, they somehow outscore Stanford 9-1 in the final stretch. 5 of those points came from the free throw line. Some interesting decisions from Stanford. Good defense. West Virginia got a couple of steals. And yet West Virginia down 2, fouls an 80+% free throw shooter with 9 seconds left, who hasn't shot a free throw all night. Makes the first, misses the second. So West Virginia gets the rebound, down 3, 9 seconds left, hand the ball to Huff. And speaking of a classic song, this is another banger from the 2025-2026 season. Honor Huff getting fouled shooting a three-pointer. And Stanford wanted that song with 3 seconds left in the game. And it was a foul, and Huff, on cue, his guitar solo, if you will, made all 3, ties the game, sends the game to overtime. And then in overtime, Honor Huff finishes with 21 tonight. 8 of those points came in overtime. I mean, just one ridiculous shot, made free throws. Other Mountaineers made free throws in overtime. Obioha had an and one. And West Virginia wins. They keep playing. Not a lot of Division I basketball teams are playing basketball in April. Yes, it is the college basketball crown. It's not the one that counts. It's not, I want to call it a pretend tournament. It's not pretend. They're in Las Vegas. They're playing. And other teams are not playing. I believe the NIT final is left. And after tonight, there'll be 4 Final Four teams, the ones that count, and 4 college basketball crown teams. So you're still playing. It's not. Would you like the concert to be in front of, like in a stadium versus the MGM Grand in front of what looked like 400 people and the tree mascot? I mean, and Johnny West, always great to see Johnny West and his wife, A House Divided. Totally didn't think about that connection approaching West Virginia Stanford, but it was right there on display. Great to see that. But it's the anxiety watching a college basketball crown quarterfinal game. It's not that anxious. If West Virginia would have not made the comeback, would that have been very disappointing? It would not have been, because what happens here? I mean, West Virginia gets, again, a complicated amount of money by winning this game. They are one of a very few teams in April that are still playing college basketball. If they win 2 more games, they will win a neutral site tournament. Matter of fact, they got their first neutral site win of the season. Lost in Kansas City, lost in Cleveland, lost in Charleston, West Virginia, lost 2 games in Charleston, South Carolina. First neutral site win in Las Vegas. First overtime win of the season. West Virginia now 1-2 on the season. So not, we're watching WVU finish this season, and I would rather them win than lose. I would not have been disappointed if they would have bowed out tonight. But they keep playing. And speaking of more songs on the set list, Steady Brendan Lorient. He was steady all night. That's a hit. Chance Moore, guess what he did at the concert? He drove with his left hand and finished at the rim. Have you seen Chance Moore do that this season? Classic. Another deep cut, West Virginia only made 2 threes. They did that in Morgantown against Texas Tech. They did it tonight, 2 for 20 from 3. They were 2 for 22 versus Texas Tech. They lost the game in Morgantown, beat the Atlantic Coast Conference Stanford Cardinal in Las Vegas, and West Virginia keeps playing. Unreasonable Doubt is under the Smoking Musket umbrella. Go to smokingmusket.com. Read posts about WVU sports, Daily Throwdown. Check that out. Go to the Discord. We're talking about WVU sports and other stuff on the Smoking Musket Discord. Link for that is in the show notes. Listen to West by Pod, the WVU football podcast under the Smoking Musket umbrella. Do all that stuff. Smoking Musket. The next game for WVU is Saturday, 4 p.m., Fox Network, kind of the lead up to the other Final Four, which is like the one that counts, which will be a great Final Four. 4 great teams. How's your bracket looking? I can't hear you. I'm not going to tell you about mine other than I have one team in my Final Four bracket, and it's Michigan. And I cannot win the Smoking Musket bracket challenge. I don't think I can win on the women's side either. Congratulations in advance to whoever wins that. But West Virginia will play the winner in Las Vegas on Saturday, 4 p.m., Fox Network. The winner of Creighton and Rutgers. As of me recording this, it looks like Creighton's going to beat the Scarlet Knights. So Creighton, Greg McDermott, he has said he's going to retire. And will he retire with a college basketball crown? That's possible. Do I know anything about Creighton? I do not. West Virginia beat Creighton in the NCAA tournament a while back when John Beilein was coach, on a Tyrone Sally shot at the basket in the last seconds of the game. That's all I got for Creighton. And McDermott's really good at coaching, and he's stepping down. And the guy who was at High Point 2 seasons ago, Alan Huss, he will take over the job. So West Virginia playing a Big East opponent, the Creighton Blue Jays. Will the Blue Jay be in Las Vegas? I don't know. And I don't know if we're going to find out Saturday. But if West Virginia, who has not won 3 games in a row for quite a while, much less 2 games in a row, this is going to test that theory. They haven't won 2 games in a row since January. So that's 3 months ago. But they'll need to win 2 games in a row to get the opportunity to win 3 games in a row to win the college basketball crown. Can they do that? Will we be excited about it? We'll find out. That's it for this episode of Unreasonable Doubt. Listen on all the platforms, or just pick one. Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Overcast Podcast, Pocket Cast Podcast, YouTube. Until next time, I'm Josh with WVU for the 2025-2026 season. they're still playing. They have 19 wins and they have 14 losses.